Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are returning to Master of Command. In between episodes, I rearranged a couple of things and we have now a very exciting army, I think. So, I noticed that the maximum reload that you can get is 125, which by the way makes a huge difference. You can see that on the reload time of the musket here. 2.9 seconds at 125 effectively. Look at 124, 3.1 seconds. Relatively speaking, that's a huge increase just from that one little notch there. So I'm very much happy that I did take that. I rearranged the ram roads on all of that so that I'm now at basically 125 on all of these three units. And that did actually free up a little bit of space, which I did use to get these things into play. And I think they're going to be super useful going forward. Due to the charge resistance on these little fences that we can deploy. That should basically enable us to be a lot less resistful. Resistful? Well, hardy against cavalry? I don't know. It's going to help us a lot. So, yeah, resistance is going to increase a lot there. I did also manage, I think, to bring up accuracy quite a bit on these guys. And then get this guy down from 12 seconds to 3 seconds as well. That is at least in this screen. There's still a bug as the time of this recording, although it has been reported. That doesn't quite translate into the actual battle. But they are fixing that, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now, as you can see, I moved one of these guys into the line brigade. That is because these guys for now are really line. They still have good firing rate. I basically rearranged a couple of things over here too. They all should have cover now. I think they should be pretty good. Good accuracy. All around pretty good guys. Remember, these guys are the super defensive ones that have extremely good rate. Whereas these guys are sort of a mixed bag. These guys are still a little bit training up, so they've got now all of the veterancy gain things, as does this guy, so he can join the Jaegers at point 2. We also have our Grenadiers. I rearranged things here a little bit too. They are now very much the guys to get up and close and personal with the grenades, with the buckshots, and with the whooping 81 charge. These guys here are a little bit the guys that are still training up. They are the proper Prussian musketeers, which actually are slightly worse, I think, than the Freikorps. But you know what, it is what we have and what we've been given. These guys were a little bit on morale, so they actually got the excellent cheese ratios, which I think is a little bit fun. Right, so without further ado, we are missing one officer, we are missing a lot of men. I don't know how the Klein Creek thing that we have affects stuff when we are out of manpower. I have a sneaking suspicion that it doesn't, but we'll very much see about that. So, what I want to do is midterm get up to Kolburg up there, which has the academy, which means more officers are enlistable. And before that, I think it might make sense just to go by Butov once again, because we have a lot of money, and there we can potentially buy a couple of people and other things too. So yeah, let's see about that. Provisions, we are losing a lot due to the winter season, but hopefully we can buy a couple of things here. So yeah, firstly we're going to buy people for sure. By the way, yeah, so that's interesting. It doesn't... The Klein Creek one, that doesn't affect your brigades that are already there. It only affects sort of the reserves that you have. And that's a bit interesting. So we could get away with this, basically. No further reservists, because I think we're going to lose all of these men before the next encounter anyway. So we'll need to see about that. Right, let's double check whether there's anything that we want to buy over here. Or sell, by the way. I think it was good to sell stuff here, right? Yeah, item sale cost. I think that is good for us. So let's sell what we don't need right now. And you know, this is going to be probably a little bit more of an equipment episode. And oh, by the way, these guys, the Prussian Dragoons. No, I did not want to assign you to anywhere. In fact, I wanted to send you guys away. I know they've got a bit of experience, I know they're potentially useful, but they don't really slot that well in. I don't want to deal with all of this cavalry, and the more guys we have, the more complicated it will be. That means these Hussar Sabres can get away, the Spirits I think can get away. What else do we have here? Just some stuff really, basic muskets that I don't think we'll need anymore. These shoes, I mean, they might be useful if we do get more units. And let's look at whether we need any more units in a second. And due to that, I might actually think about that. I think the Potsdams are generally the better weapon. So maybe we're gonna do that. But for now, let's sell all of this stuff. That does give us some money. So let's look at the barracks then. Prussian musketeers. I'm thinking of buying these guys. Fry infantry Jägers. These are not the good Jägers that we want. But I do have at least 2 slots over here. So once these guys do get to be the Jägers, I would want 1 more line brigade. And that would very much be a musketeer unit. I would also want 1 more Prussian Fusilier. Oh, by the way, let's look at the noble estate before we do that. Command radius, focused for more range, and industrious. Forward is more effective. Morale damage received lower, loud. Accuracy higher, movement speed higher, range higher. These guys are not bad, but I'm not fully sold on them. Right, so first things first. I think Prussian musketeers, they can go to become either grenadiers or veteran musketeers. So I think buying one of these guys is a good choice. We wanna develop there anyway, right? So for now, you guys are gonna move over here. Might actually switch them around again. They do make sense over here, don't they? Right, let's give them the shoes. Give them the stamina, because why not? That still leaves you at slightly better movement speed. You've got the Potsdam muskets, that's actually fine. You've got the socket bayonets, that's cool too. We might want to leave 1 spot open. Let's keep it as such. 1 spot open so that we can slot in any unit that we pick up in an encounter. Yeah, I think that makes sense. By the way, I also pretty much got everyone to have a little bit more slots here, so I think that's going to be useful. Your stamina has increased a lot anyway, so why not give you slightly better cover bonus? There's no harm in that. Right, I think the horseshoes we can sell. They're not fantastic anyway. Maybe not sell them where they don't have any money. Let's sell them here. Right, veterans again. I think that would be fantastic. Movement speed, morale, move speed, all of these are useful. Other good treaties. Charge at the cost of accuracy, but only for infantry. If that was for cavalry, I would take it. Morale and melee damage. Melee damage +4. Let's look at the cuirassiers. Melee damage +2. I think we considered buying that at some point, right? So if we actually exchange these things, how much would that be? It would only cost us 67 for 2 morale and 2 melee damage. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, we've got pretty much filled out our units, so I think it's gonna be a useful thing to try to max out this right now. Again, that's just for that. That's okay. What do we have down here? Fire damage received and accuracy up. I think that's a good trait to have. In fact, we are using that on some of our units anyway. So, it's the excellent quality. We do have some money, so fine. It's just 5% or so what we have. So that's good. Move speed +4. 4 musicians. It's tempting, but not really required. You guys are going to get the accuracy. We're going to pay a little bit more for that. But yeah, I think especially on the musketeers, I think it's a bit weird because reload speed really is a fact that has increasing returns. So the more reload you get, the faster you're firing, and it just sort of balloons. Whereas accuracy has sort of diminishing returns because you're just sort of proportionally doing less and less increase of damage. You're always doing the same damage once you increase by, let's say, 5 accuracy. It's always going to be effective, but relatively speaking, it's not going to be that more useful going forward. Right, so veterans again, movement speed, all nice, but not really. Foundry, I mean, more and better guns, always useful, especially now that we have these guys who have stuff that is not that fantastic. Iron 6-pounder. I do think we have some Liechtenstein. We could get the Geschwindigstück, which has the same accuracy, Significantly more damage. Slightly better range, but significantly faster. I think that's a fair trade. Yes, it's going to cost us half of our money, basically. Maybe that's a bit too much. Let's think about that for a second. There were a good number of guns here, but I do believe we have good guns on our... where are they? Bayreuth. You've got the Potsdam carbines. 12%. 14% at 22. Reload speed is not that much worse. The Tulers might be better. The range, 95. Same range. Got excellent Potsdams too. And the thing is, we could hand down these things then to sort of our other guys. Which was a comment that one of you guys made, which is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, these Potsdams are just strictly better, right? 120, just better range, slightly better accuracy. I'm thinking about picking the Tulers though, because there's another one. Young pins. Yeah, they're even. I mean, the Tulers are what, like 10% faster. The Potsdams are 10% faster to reload. What advantage do they actually have? They have slightly better melee and charge, which tends to be useful on a cavalry unit. But on the other hand, especially on the dragoons, I don't think that's what we want to do. If there was one with very much high accuracy, I would be tempted to take that. But you know what? We're going to buy the Potsdams. That's going to go into our Bayreuth dragoons. And that means that these Potsdams can go, I guess, on you? What's the difference here? Yeah, it's just slightly better and it actually increases charge too. No, it doesn't. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so apparently that doesn't change due to the weapons. Huh, I didn't know that. Anyway, these Hussars then are going to get the other group, the Potsdam carbines that we've got. So basically, we're now all Potsdams in sort of all quality levels that we've got. So that's fine. I don't think we need anything else. We could potentially get more carbines, but I'm not too sold on that. The breastplates, I mean, you guys are pretty fast, aren't you? Maybe I want to switch that around. Melee damage received, got that lower. 73 is still pretty fast. I think that works. That works. We can sell this. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Good. That was on the gunsmiths, the powerhouse. Anything fantastic here? Yeah, I think the ammo consumption is fantastic. This stuff would be cool too. Cover 20 and 35. What do we have right now? I mean, it's just better, and these are our best units. I'm also tempted for the ammo consumption. I would also be tempted about the grenades. Too much things to buy, too many things to buy. Right, another 300 down the drain. There we go. But I do like it. You get this. You have that. You're gonna get that in the future. Ah, you know what? You're gonna get it now, just so that I don't have to worry about which unit is which. I can always rely on them having some protection against cavalry, if and when we get there. Right, ammo consumption. You're all good. You guys are slowed down by that, right? So if we switch that around, you're going to be a little bit faster too, which I like on the horse artillery. So let's sort of double down on the strength there. Right, 25%, 25%. You guys don't have any of that. You know what? We're going to switch that around. That gives us some earthworks, which at some point we might apply to, for example, you guys. Oh, and by the way, we can sell the cannon. Didn't I sell that before? No, sorry. I intended to switch that around, but I don't think we have the money right now. Just briefly look at this. So we've got crosses that just give better morale, but nothing else. We've got good rations here, but I don't think we want to buy these. The excellent stuff here, 160. You guys have excellent. stuff. You guys only have the weak stuff. That's 100, but that's 100 for like 4 charge. Yeah. I like it. Good. The best spirit to the guys who are bravely charging in. Right. Okay. We would have some money left. Let's sell some of these muskets. And then that basically leaves us with only the foundry. 1,800. Would have so little money. But then again, these things are difficult to get by. They are much, much faster, right? Let's do it. Spend money to make money, I say. Right, there we go. Nearly broke now. Very few people. Let's spend a little bit more money here on acquiring rations, because winter is bad that way, and we need more anyway. And then in terms of officer recruitment, I could sell some stuff to really get him, but I'm not really sold on him. I think we want our next guy to be really good. Right, so let's actually make our way down this road here, grab these convoys, see what we've got here. Intercepted the convoy transporting coinage, likely the treasure of a local garrison, being moved under escort. The gold has been hastily packed. There is no time to search at all. Get 108. Yeah, I think we just want to shake them down. Just so more so, not so much for the TARDIS, but to face the enemy army, because that's going to be useful, right? Yeah. Let's face it. Oh, by the way, notice there's another army over there. So 2 artillery brigades. I think the enemy has been tuned down a little bit in how they 3 artillery brigades actually. In how likely they're gonna attack us. Or made it more likely actually that they attack us. Right. Lots of cavalry actually. Very little infantry. Just 4 of them. They should be an easy battle anyway. But since our thing basically as our unit is to get more loot from attacking enemy armies, I think that's going to be good. I'm slightly concerned about the enemy artillery, I think, and the horse, really. So maybe we want to play this a little bit more conservatively so that we don't lose too many men. Okay, battlefield fairly open, but I think they're going to attack us. If they do attack us, where do we want to go? Where do we want to be? I like that. I also like this. I don't like the gap in between though. But I do think we can make that work. And this time around I'm going to keep my cavalry in reserve a little bit more and just maybe send up 1 of these units to deal with the enemy artillery. Because they are sure to charge us. Okay, let's do it like this. The line infantry, you guys, you're on the left. You're going to advance on this hill position and in these forests. Maybe a little bit more like that. Right, yeah, that's fine. You guys, you don't have a general for now, but you're going to be on the right-hand side here. And you know what? You can actually go into attack column formation so that you're going to be fast up there. Right. Then we've got the light units, the Jägers. You're going to be in the center. And you're going to be backed up by most of our cavalry. And since you've got the charge thingies, which you can deploy in open formation, I think you're good there. And then you guys, I'm probably going to park on more or less on that line too. I know it's a bit of a weird formation, but I think it's gonna work. And you guys, we're gonna send you off around the... So, let's be happy with this deployment. Send everyone up where I want them to be. And I do kind of like to use an actual division system here, so that we can be a little bit more flexible in how we're using the units. Or I can do that. I can do the micro better is basically what I'm trying to say. Right. Hussars there. Dragoons. Maybe Dragoons a little bit on the right because they might still be good at flanking. And then the cuirassiers here in the middle. And maybe the hussars a little bit more to the middle too. Frederick here over there. And then, who has got the mini guys? You have that. You don't have the range anyway. You do have quite a bit of range, right? So, you're not the guys. You are the... I think I'm going to use the canister shot here. And the reason for that is basically that I do believe that these guys need a direct line of sight when they are shooting with canister. When you're shooting ball, you can shoot over light infantry that is standing in front of you. If you're shooting canister, you can't. So that becomes a bit more difficult. But the advantage here is that since we've got light Jägers in front of us, I believe the same might not entirely apply here. But you guys are running for now, and that's fine, but let's slow down maybe a little bit. You know what? I do see that the enemy is more or less focusing on our right, so let's take that into account. You know, you guys can... Let's see whether we can shoot with artillery over our artillery. So, with this being a little bit of an easier fight, I think we're going to try to make that... You guys are so comparative. Freikorps Grenadiers. There. 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 And I know I'm not in line information. Ooh. That's us. Right, okay, yeah, you know what? We might want to get into line. And you might need to run now. You guys have employed these things, so that's nice. Crusaders maybe get you slightly further to the rear there. You guys can unlimber. And it looks like these guys are shooting across there, so that's good. You know what? Unlimber. Unlimber. Right. Hussars. Make your way around. Maybe get into the forest so that you're sheltered from the enemy artillery. And we might actually take our main artillery guys here and shoot their artillery for once. Ah yeah, you know, we have actually shot these guys already. Mostly by, I guess, bouncing off the Fusiliers. So maybe let's continue doing that actually. Right. You're gonna be there at some point soon. You need to run. You also need to form a line for me. You're running from there, that's good. You guys get in a line, run over here. Russian Lifeguard is there already, but then again, no, you still need some experience, so that's going to be alright. But you know what, you actually are. Right, Freikorps Grenadiers, you are losing men here, and I actually like that because you're going to be the most likely to sort of get that back. Which targets now? On their artillery. Very soon our lines are going to kind of meet here, so that's going to be okay. And you guys are now shooting canister shot. That's lovely to see. Okay, they are shooting at us here, whereas we can't shoot at them. Well, not with our infantry anyway, but did you see these canister shots? I think that was just one salvo. How many guys did you get there? I think over 100. That was a devastating shot. Right, they're coming in there. Let's actually take the dragoons around. I would very much love to see you in action. And also notice that their dragoons are right over there. Do they have more dragoons? Yeah, they do have some there. Let's get the hussars closer to the front line there, and you guys over here. Because I've got sort of a feeling that they are soon going to attack. For that reason, I need at least 2 of my guys here to hold their fire, please. Okay, they're retreating there, lovely. Hold, hold, hold. You can fire. Right, stop for a second, just so I can give my orders. Okay, now you guys can shoot. Gonna wait a small little time longer here. You need to run. Now you're running, good. Okay, fire. And up over here, you guys countercharge. When you're countercharging, are you gonna fire? I don't know that. Yes, you are. Good. And these guys were shot before there too. Right. No. Charge. Dragoons charging dragoons. Not necessarily the best. Also, not really the best to have the Freikorps. You guys are actually better in... Nah. Okay, that's bad. I would have hoped that the guys that are the best in melee are going to be doing that. Okay, guys, you need to return. You guys can go back to firing. Good. Yeah. Cuirassiers doing your thing. You guys can go back to firing just normally. And you know what? We can actually get rid of our bayonets. I'm not using that too often, and I should really be doing that more. Okay, one here is doing fine. You guys can go back to firing. Fire there. Grenadiers, you know what? I'm gonna have you come up over here. You guys are fine. Hussars, you need to run to the back. You guys are okay. Come up a little bit more like that. You guys come up like that, and you guys go there because I wanna fire these cuirassiers. Now Hussars have been taking way too much damage here from enemy artillery. So I would very much like to... you know what? You guys here, you are the ones who need more experience. So maybe go earn some. Right, musketeers. Fire, fire. There you go. Lovely. You guys should be dying soon. And you guys need to go artillery hunting. And I want you to do that fast. Well, especially the guys here who've got experience. Right, and the Hussars. You know what? All of the cavalry. Didn't really get to use the dragoons there, did I? You are hunting down people, that's okay. Our dragoons, grenadiers, you can move back. Cuirassiers, you're moving up anyway. Fusiliers, do try to take out a couple of enemies there. You guys are beating them back, that's lovely, and I think that should very much soon seal the deal over here. There we go. Shattered. Immediately shattered. Right, let's see how many people we lost. I think especially on the Hussars a little bit more than I would have loved to. But at least it should give us some money. 530, that's a bit. Victory at Pasewalk. Regimental flags, half as good. Okay, that's nice. Veterans again, 20%, that's lovely. Heavy socket bayonets, more bayonets is super lovely because we don't have that many of that. And actually these things over here, accuracy at the cost of max range. That's going to be super useful for either our Grenadiers or our Dragoons, actually. 800 men lost. 2,700 captured. More veterancy. More conscripts. Well, I do think we have to at least replenish our losses. Although if we do that, we're going to lose so many men while we're walking. But that being said, we're going to meet another enemy unit right over there, right? So, oh, by the way, didn't even notice, but let's look at how many kills you guys all got. Quite a couple, actually. You may be a bit more than I would have loved to. We haven't taken that many kills. So, let's go for the exchange right now. Because, again, some more promotions would be very good. We got another promotion there on the general too. And on these guys down there, at least 2, so that's lovely. You're still not, of course, there to be converted into another type of unit anyway, but getting there. I think all of you guys are pretty much maxed out on your promotions, except for the Prussian field artillery, so I'm guessing that could give us another Prussian horse, which actually has a higher reload speed. So maybe it is nice after all, right? So how much have you got right now? 30, 35? Yeah, you know what? I think we were just complaining that they were a little bit too slow. So let's do pick the upgrade. Didn't give us any slots or anything, but still that's lovely. Right, and then you guys have accuracy, combat effectiveness, artillery, range, and reloads. Range, morale, melee damage. I like the range. It's a good artillery officer. Right. Didn't use too much ammo there, so that's good to see. Do we want to switch around a little bit of our guys? You guys lost 200 men. It's not that bad. Okay. Right, what else do we have? We've got the buck shot. You guys have the buckshot. Interesting. No buck and ball versus buckshot. How about the dragoons? I think it's more of a, really more of a grenadier weapon, right? I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I do like your cover bonus too, but maybe we're going to switch that around for these things. Got the excellent muskets, so that should be serving us well. Gonna buy that for sure at some point. Veterancy gain plus 20%. Let some of you guys have some, right? Okay, yeah, 20%. Morale. Yeah, that's straight out better. You guys have the reload speed. You've got fire damage received. No, let's actually switch that around too. Yeah, the accuracy is useful, but cover bonus on you. You could get the accuracy plus 6. I do like everything that you've got though, but maybe you don't strictly need. You've got shoes. Movement speed plus 4. 2, but better stamina. Don't think that's required. Let's look at the bayonets. It's slightly worse at charging. And these things are just worse overall. It'd be better at melee. Okay, this can be switched around. 8-8. 8-8. Okay, so you guys all have good stuff now. Give this to you, and then you guys can get rid of the rusty stuff. Do we have anyone else with rusty stuff? Yes, we do. 8-4 or 2-2? No, of course 8. This stuff we're gonna sell. This I'll need to keep an eye on. Maybe exchange these for something. That's something that I can do off screen. Right, so next time around, of course, we're gonna go to Pasewalk. Supply a little bit more, beat these 9,000 guys, and then move up to Kolberg to get a proper officer. And we might even end this early, although I don't know that we will. We might just go ahead and screen for stuff, but the winter is fairly bad for us. So on the other hand, getting these outposts and they're going to meet us soon enough. But yeah, let's see. Right, see you next time, guys. Bye bye.